Did I actually watch this thing on stream? Might as well. Now it's 14 years later, right?
Hot Pursuit 2 could have been seen as the definitive entry.
White people happy. Emulators are a fun thing if you don't find the right settings.
The team was very passionate about Underground, but during that game's development, 2 concepts were in the works: Need for Speed Most Wanted and Need for Speed Repo Man. Concept artist Al King has uploaded drawings of both, confirming they officially existed around 2003 and 2004.
The Repo Man stuff looks so weird.
Several Most Wanted files, where Hot Pursuit 3 evolved into Most Wanted. By January
that looked so much like Team Fortress. Like I feel like a demo man is around to jump the corner. To this day, I don't really understand why they're not trying to recapture this type of game. That would still work.
Driving in Most Wanted doesn't feel imprecise or inelegant. It feels exactly as it should, particularly in the range between 120 and 140 miles an hour through a tight circuit. Nailing what you want in a driving game.
That's really it. Like the handling works so well in this game.
Control, with rubber banding notable enough to have an Audi A3 overtake a fully enhanced Lamborghini Murcielago. The least exciting of all the events, however, are toll booth races, one of the new game modes. And the consistent use of minimal traffic in these events makes them feel even longer. Though that problem doesn't exist for drag racing.
The balance in this game was definitely not perfect. Some events were too easy, some events were way too hard, especially the speed trap events when the rubber band kicks in. That's when the event just becomes unfair.
For the uninitiated, drag racing in this era of Need for Speed pitted you against 4 racers on a multi-lane course. Rather than using the standard driving engine, the game auto-steers and your analog stick simply changes lanes. Only the auto-steering in Most Wanted is incapable of remaining in your current lane during corners, launching you into traffic if you don't predict the system.
That's why I used the speed breaker, because it actually disables the lane system during the drag races, and a lot of people never did that. Like thinking about, like most people don't use the speed breaker, and they never thought of using it in a drag race.
There's a routine to follow with the Blacklist members. Complete the quickest events, race by 3 speed traps, and engage in a long pursuit until you've completed your time, evasion, or damage challenges that earns you the bounty to compete. Rinse, repeat. It's routine because milestones rarely deviate, requiring you to only do more of the same as the game progresses.
You know, the thing about the grind in this game, when you do it for the first time, you don't notice it. Like I remember playing through Most Wanted, and I really enjoyed how long it took to beat the game. Because I was genuinely having fun, I really didn't mind that it took longer. It is very different if you play the game again. If you play the game again and you've seen it once already, then the repetition kicks in. But unlike the very first playthrough, that was really fun. And it didn't feel like a chore for me whatsoever. That is true. The pacing got better though than in Underground 2. Like in Underground 2 was even worse. Underground 2 felt like a grind when it came out. Underground 2 was way worse for me. I really noticed the repetition in Underground 2. Not in Most Wanted, because it's coming right now.
From vehicles that take enough punishment to withstand your attacks, to dodging SUVs with bumpers looking to claim your head, and helicopters dropping spike strips onto the roads, the level of tension is...
That's not true, and you know that chopper never ever drops a spike on you.
In the former, there's no challenge when you're in front of the pack.
Possibly.
Traffic's rare, space
Maybe they took it out because it was too brutal.
On your dust doesn't get one excited. Furthermore, the multiplayer that did exist on Xbox 360 and PC was just straight up racing without a cop.
That was so much fun though, dude. I spent so many hours just doing multiplayer in Most Wanted. Like everyone was using the M3, and those were really close races because everyone was just using the same car on tracks that we all knew. Like I had so much fun doing multiplayer in Most Wanted.
510 is the PSP replica developed by the same team who created Underground Rivals, Team Fusion, who managed to pump this game out just 8 months after their launch title.
Man, Underground Rivals was way better.
Is quite evident. It was great because the player could effectively go through at their own pace, whether they played for 3 minutes or 3 hours. None of that translated to 510.
That was so bad, this game.
It adopts the Blacklist from Most Wanted, but without the flexibility of Rivals. Not only would the tedium of police make players avoid this option, the respect gained is so pathetically low there's not even a gameplay benefit for doing so. It's like someone giving pennies.
Yeah, that is so true. Like, I was also asking that myself. So if you finish the event, you get 500 rep, and then it offers you an outrun for an extra 5. This is so utterly bullshit, man. It's like the developers noticed midway through, actually nobody actually wants to do this, so let's give them even less of a reason to do it.
Because it was also released on the Nintendo DS.
Oh god. I remember playing this. This is the biggest pile of garbage that I've played. It's so bad.
I think the visuals and audio speak for themselves. But what's less evident from watching are the controls.
The controls, man, they are actually so bad. I want to hear his opinion.
It's honestly a good thing the cops from 510 aren't replicated here, because had they been with steering this horrendous, races would be near impossible to complete.
Okay, let me try to explain the handling. It's basically you turn in, the car doesn't do anything, then it turns, and then you want it to stop turning, and it keeps turning. Like, everything is delayed. Like, it starts to steer late, and then it keeps steering when you already stop. Like, it's so fucking bad.
It's a bit puzzling to have a system's launch title be superior to the next installment.
Dude, Underground 2 looks so much better too. It's the same on the PSP and the DS. It's crazy different.
But you know what's more puzzling? The GBA version being superior. The game's handling model feels lighter and tighter on this platform.
The problem is, you could literally puke on a screen and you would have the same image. Like, that was the problem. Yeah, it is a better playing game, but I actually had a hard time orientating myself in this game. What is this mess? You can barely tell the road apart from everything else. Like, what is this, like a 20, like 50 by 20 pixels? Like, that was my issue that I had with this game. Sure, it doesn't play well, it doesn't play that badly, but even on an emulator, you cannot turn up the pixels. Like, it will always look like this fucking Picasso. Like, it doesn't matter how good the game is if you can't see it, you know? That was so, like, you need to have a tiny screen. If you watch this on a big screen, if you play this on an emulator, it just looks like a Picasso. You can't tell anything. Like, does the road go over here, or like, is it gonna continue over there? And how far are you actually to the side? You know,
give the wrong impression. Most Wanted on the GBA
so
isn't
bad.
a good game. AI is atrocious.
Like, look at this screen. Are you gonna go to the right, left, or straight? Tell me, guys. Before we continue. Like, where are you going here? Oh shit, there's a minimap. Okay.
Having such little time to make a game gives people little reason to spend their...
Look at this pixel mess. This is the roadblock. This is a cop car. You know, this is a cop car. This might as well be a bike. You know, here's the front wheel. There's like the handlebar, and then it goes back. This is where you sit. This is where you sit, right? Like, this could be anything. This could be a cow. Like, this is its eye. This is the tongue sticking out, and here's like the rest of the cow, you know?
I don't believe Most Wanted is a great game to this day, though it absolutely was at the time. While Black Box weren't the best when it came to progression, story, competition, AI, or variety, what they always brought to the table was a signature character. The racing in Underground 2 and Most Wanted are virtually identical, and yet playing the two isn't the same experience at all. It's in the art style, soundtrack, and environments that makes a Need for Speed game come alive.
I mean, that's clearly where we all disagree. Like, we all know, like, this right now is way more fun to play than any of the other modern arcade races, even in the Need for Speed franchise. Like, it's just more fun, and you know, that's what's actually missing. I don't really care too much about the character he's talking about here. Like, it's actually about the game being fun. Like, I can play a modern racing game for like a week and then it becomes boring. And it happens over and over and over again. I play a new game for a week and then it loses every kind of appeal it ever had. You have seen everything the game has to offer and it's over. But that's a game that I actually can come back to and still have fun, because modern games still have not reached this the good gameplay parts. Obviously, it had bad gameplay too. Like some of the events that you have to do, like the toll booths, are really just kind of boring time trials. But there's just something this game has that no other game has brought back to the table yet, and it's still more fun to go back to this game.
That is what makes the series special, and that's not what it's been doing.
Like the thing about like Need for Speed 2012 that we just saw, like it's dropping the interesting interaction with the cops and the story. Like it dropped both elements and the customization. That was Most Wanted 2012, right? Like it dropped the good cops. Yeah, like it's ridiculous.
The simulations with Shift.
Dum, dum, dum. And now that would be the moment where we get like the trailer for the next Most Wanted. I assume that's one of his most popular videos, right? Let's take a look. That has 2 million views, you know? This is what I've been trying to tell EA all this time. You wanna know what actually gets views? Most Wanted. Most Wanted has like more viewers than all of these. Like that's what I've been trying to tell EA all this time, that guys, look at the YouTube stats. It's always Most Wanted. Just look at any of the content that is being made. Like Most Wanted overshadows everything. It's the same for me too. Like on my channel as well. Like if I go into my playlist for Most Wanted, that shit just gets the most viewers all the time. I can sort this by most popular. Okay, let's let that sink in for a second. These are my most popular videos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My top 10 videos are all Most Wanted. Then it's interrupted by my time in World of Warcraft 12 years ago. And then it's Most Wanted, Most Wanted, Most Wanted, Most Wanted. And then it's Juiced. And this is what I've been trying to tell EA and the Need for Speed guys in general. This was the gameplay mix that people were excited for.